This is a bike path, and this is a school. Put them together and you get this. A bike path on top of a school. Just one of the things I got to see on day 3 of my bike trip across the Netherlands. Today I am traveling to Den Bosch, but my day begins in Utrecht, a city that has become a global leader for urban living. With the busiest bike junction in the world's largest bike garage, and even erasing motorways in favor of canals, it shows how cities can prioritize livability, sustainability, and active transportation, all while preserving their charm. I visited during last year's bike trip, and while I might have said it was my favorite, it seems I've left a few things uncovered. The first of which is on the west side of the city. This is the Dafne Schippersbrug, a fascinating piece of urban engineering. Named after the Olympic sprinter who grew up in the city and opened in 2017, the bicycle and pedestrian suspension bridge connects Utrecht's historic city center to a brand new one, with over 7,000 cyclists using it every day. It's more than just a crossing, it integrates a school, a bicycle and pedestrian path, and a public park all into one striking structure. The approach ramp is built as a loop to create a smooth incline for riders, and that curve cleverly wraps around a small park with a basketball net in the middle before it ends up on top of the school. You can probably hear the kids playing now. I don't speak Dutch, so I've got no idea what they're saying, but they're clearly having a good time. As you ride across its peak, the bridge hangs 9 meters above water. Just like the Neskio Bridge I crossed on the first day of my trip, it spans the Amsterdam-Rhine Canal, covering a distance of about 110 meters. And since it opened, the neighborhood on the west side of the canal has seen rapid growth. The bridge didn't just connect two parts of the city, it helped shape how one of them would evolve, ensuring the bicycle was the most convenient mode to reach the city center. But why is it so interesting? I mean, it's unique, beautiful, and quite frankly inspiring, but perhaps for me, it's because, like many pieces of Dutch infrastructure, the juxtaposition between it and the stuff you tend to see in the rest of the world is quite jarring.
I'm pretty sure this is a school surrounded by a highway exit somewhere in North America. That's the difference.
Yep. In Dayton, Ohio, there is an elementary school surrounded by a ramp loop of US Route 35. Quite the juxtaposition indeed, and the kind of comparison we need to hold up at community meetings and ask, which school do you want your child attending? The other main thing I wanted to see in Utrecht was on the opposite edge of the city. This gives me the chance to see places previously unknown and make a few minor stops along the way. Outside Utrecht Centraal, I noticed some changes.
I'm pretty sure there used to be a giant outdoor bike parking lot right there. I think so.
And inside, there was a chance at redemption.
I got one of these here last time and it fell out of my pocket like a day later and I lost it, so got a new one.
I'm happy to say that my OV chip card survived this time. I passed back through Vredenburg, the busiest bike intersection in the world, with the rainbow crosswalk, the Miffy lights, and the people. I still can't get over the people traffic here. This is what it looks like when you prioritize the movement of people over cars. Feeling a bit peckish, I was reminded of something my host said the night before.
There is no such thing as good Dutch food. What we do is we mix potato with certain vegetables, and then we say this is very special and so. But everybody has their own food. The Germans do, the English not very good, but they have their own food. The Dutch basically don't. So if you want to enjoy your meal, you can go to the Korean restaurant on the Houten Gracht. I mean, we've got all sorts.
Despite that, I did want to share this with the people who have never seen it.
I'm going to grab a snack at a Dutch institution. Now, no, it's not. It's FIBO. And the reason why I think this place is interesting is because we don't have anything like this in North America, at least not anymore. It's an automat. You can just walk up, pay, grab some food, just out of like a hot vending machine, basically. I think that's pretty neat.
The name Fabo comes from a street in Amsterdam where the first shop was opened, Ferdinand Bolstraat. I prefer the snack bars, but in a pinch, not a bad choice for a salty bite. When I was on my way into the city, I passed by this rather interesting looking house. I might even call it ostentatious or gaudy if it weren't for its importance, because this is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. To be honest, I wouldn't have been wise to it if it weren't for my host.
That's the house. Because do you know how old it is? More than 100 years.
Really?
Yeah. He was one of the first. He was unique. I mean, this is a gem. It's on the World Heritage List. So it's very important. I don't like it much myself.
This is the first building designed entirely using the principles of neoplasticism, an early 20th century art movement focused on simplicity, abstraction, and the use of primary colors with straight lines and right angles. Finished in 1924, the upper floor is especially unique, with a modular layout that uses sliding panels to reconfigure the space throughout the day. Mrs. Schröder lived here for over 60 years, right up until her death in 1985. Today, the house is preserved as a museum, offering a rare glimpse into a radical vision of modernist living. Just a few hundred meters away, I made it to the Utrecht Science Park, the largest campus of Utrecht University, which is where I would find the last point of interest before leaving the city. This is the Rainbow Fietspad. Still believed to be the longest of its kind in the world, this vibrant stretch of cycling infrastructure runs over 570 meters. The idea originally came from a student, and in just a couple of days in October of 2021, the existing path was transformed into a bold and colorful statement using nothing but paint and a message. While it makes for a great Instagram backdrop, the purpose goes deeper. The institutions behind it say they want the path to stand for inclusion and diversity in the broadest possible sense. It's a symbol of welcome, of pride, and of the kind of place Utrecht wants to be. Also, it's just really fun to ride. And if that weren't enough for the city, there is one final thing I stumbled across while on my way out of the science park.
And this here is a bicycle path, but it also doubles as a road for emergency services. Now, I think this is brilliant because it addresses one of the main concerns people have with bike lanes, believing that they will take up space, create traffic, and make response times worse for emergency services. But in this case, you can see this is a brilliant example of where you can use this space so that ambulances can get through.
Not only here, earlier in the day on the busy streets along one of the canals, a police car easily made its way through the crowds of people who were enjoying the space. The opposite of what disastrous outcomes some folks predict. Okay, that is actually all for Utrecht, at least for this visit. So thank you to those who gave me suggestions, but it was time to take off. From here, I would need to go south towards Houten.
The really nice part about going back to Utrecht was that I was familiar with it. I knew where I was going, and that's kind of nice, not having to use Google to navigate around. And I feel like I'm doing the same right now. I'm headed back to Houten. I think mostly I know where I'm going. I think so far so good. I think where I've arrived at now is a place that was, I suppose, it's infamous to me now. But this is where I originally was going to stay the night I stayed in or nearby Utrecht. There's something about Houten, I don't know what it is. It's just like an urbanist's wet dream. I think it's maybe that desire to create and control. It's like starting a new city and city skylines. It's just so exciting, and that's what they did here. It's fantastic.
There's a whole video on Houten you can watch I made last year, but the spark notes is that it might be the world's most successful car light development. It was built from scratch around bikes, not cars, and designed so well, it's almost boring, in the best possible way. But one thing I didn't mention in the video is how you actually find your way around. Houten is made up of several neighborhoods, and not everyone instinctively knows how to navigate them. And to fix that, the town council, along with the local chapter of the Dutch Cyclists Union, created a unique wayfinding system. And it works kind of like a transit map. Simple, color-coded, and intuitive. Perfect for a place where the bike is the default way to get around. To make use of it, all you need to do is find your destination and remember the number and/or color of the routes that will guide you there. You can even consult the legend at the bottom that lists which routes serve each neighborhood of the city.
So I believe I'm here just along this 2, and I want to get down to Castellum. So I'm going to try I think I know how to get there, but I think I'm going to try to use this. So if I take the green, which is the 1 line, take the 4 all the way to the 7.
Finding your way is very simple. You'll be reminded of which route you're on by the markers on most lampposts. Much more noticeable in person, but I'm sure even here you can see them as I went by. And on top of that, there's signage displayed at most junctions.
All right, we've entered Castellum, so this is the south part of Houten. Just looking for that 7. Like, I know we're here, but I still want to find it. There it is, 777, all 7.
This is Houten Castellum, the younger city center in the south, whose name I incorrectly attributed to the nearby medieval tower. It's actually named after Castella, the small forts that once lined the northern border of the Roman Empire. The neighborhood's layout mirrors that of a Roman fort, with Latin street names, though not always grammatically correct. And from here is the day's terminus, Den Bosch. To get there, I would need to ride 45 kilometers and pass through a portion of Gelderland. But using the power of deciding to leave that province for a later video, we are now crossing the Princess Irene Bridge and entering the 4th province of this trip, North Brabant, and its capital, Den Bosch. I could have gone straight to the city center, but I just had to make a detour to a fascinating piece of history. This is Bolwoningen, or Ball dwellings, spherical homes built in the early 1980s as part of a Dutch experimental housing program. Made from fiberglass reinforced concrete, these 5.5 meter wide pods look more like sci-fi props than suburban housing. Designed by Dries Kreykamp, the concept was simple. Spheres are efficient and natural. Each sits on a cylindrical base with a spiral staircase connecting a bedroom, bathroom, and a light-filled living area at the top. But in practice, they are less than ideal. Though never widely adopted, they remain lived in and are now protected as architectural monuments. Ready to call it for the day, I made my way into the heart of Den Bosch along some moist bike paths.
It is late, but I did make it to Hertogenbosch. Maybe Mark can tell me how to actually pronounce the name of this city. I don't know. Hertogenbosch. Anyway, I'm looking forward to check out this city. It's clearly got some history. Clearly. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Probably one of my favorite things in the Netherlands is the parking. One of the most cited reasons for folks deciding not to ride a bike is not having a safe place to park it. So municipalities encourage bicycle use by offering free or at least very cheap, secure bicycle parking. Like this one here in the city center of Den Bosch, which is where my steed would rest tonight before exploring the city tomorrow.